Hello everyone, this is another build showcase. This time I decide to roll a dervish around one of the new items. This is Skull of LongCa. LongCa is the Season 5 champion at the hardcore ladder. He runs something similar, but this was a sentinel, and his item it's I think more appropriate to be on a dervish. Let's port to Devil's Crossing so I can show first the gear. How I level this? I level this as a completely melee dervish with Gunnar Stings, Bangalgore's amulet, and Solar Sect leg guards. This is the basically and Juggernaut relic. This is the core, and everything else was optional. Some random finds, some faction gear, but leveling was very smooth. Usually melee dervish is very easy to level, good MI support and that kind of stuff. For my weapon I decided to go for a Garria's Gatekeeper. This comes with a max movement speed, which is very important for a kiting class. I got skill cooldown reduction. This is another very good one because I basically rotate some skills and some buffs as well. But the most important thing that comes with the Gates of Chaos. This is a very nice debuff and buff at the same time. This is very powerful button. Got a nice radius, comes with damage absorption, high life regen and 50% reduced entrapment duration. Also some other good stuff. On the best one is minus 10% poison and acid resistance. Very nice. But if you don't have Garria's Gatekeeper, usually this build kills her very easily. You can use Crimson Vial Skipper from Sister Crimson at Forgotten Gods. This works completely the same, apart from you have to be in melee to trigger a Marastra Braid Burst. But this works the same way, just you have to get rid of few points here and put them somewhere else. But usually works fine with this. I fully tested both weapons. Of course Garria Keeper is much better, but much smoother playstyle. But this is a nice replacement. My body armor, this is Venomancer alignment. Basically I picked this for the physical resistance, energy regeneration. After all, we run very low energy bar and this armor is pretty good, but the most important thing, 3-2 resilience and Venomancer aura, which is another very nice direct damage and dot damage aura. This basically give us chance for another crit technically. I go for Formidable Solar Sect of Vitality. Basically I build this build to run a hard content, so I run close to 23k life. The most important thing here is defensive ability. We are quite low. Of course with all buffs up, this is bump up a little bit more. Our relic of choice, Malediction. Another aura for poison and acid. Because my off pieces are mostly sustained type of rolls, affixes and prefixes. I need as much acid and poison multiplier as possible. That's why I run Malediction. I don't run 1 to Old Keeper or 1 to Nightblade type of acid poison relic. I think this just perfectly suits the builds. Comes with tons of spirit, which means I can run more physique. For me, this is best in slot. Second best one would be Deathstalker, but this is very situational and more like boss and Nemesis fights. I prefer this one more. Our belt is a mythical pack of deadly means, mostly for the maximum poison resistance, a huge chunk of offensive ability, 3 to Merciless Repertoire, and 1 to Old Keeper. Our medal is completely endgame / hardcore content and hard content in general. I run mythical Sanctus Crest of Readiness, basically for the 4 to maximum resistance on the upper row. As you can see, 86, 86, 86. This is very important when you run boundless dungeons and stuff. This mitigates your damage very well. Our boots, Cleric of Vitality. Of course, we need some multiplier damage to undead. Nothing special here, apart from the physical resistance, stun duration and defensive ability, and of course huge portion of life. Standard Aegis of Menhir gloves. I think every single poison Aegis build have to run this. This is Viper Farm Grips. Basically Avenging Shield, full conversion fire to acid, and tons of poison damage to Aegis of Menhir. Best in slot in my opinion. Corruption is completely bad, but still better than nothing. My shoulders are Iron Maiden shoulder guards. I roll Formidable of Amarastra's Flurry, basically for the physical resistance, chaos resistance, elemental resistance, slow resistance, and 3 to Aegis and 2 to Lethal Assault. I think, of course, signature item for the build, Skull of LongCa. This is, I'm not gonna read every single row, but this what put the build together. Helm, Mythical Calf Venom Blade. There is a couple of options here. I found this better than most because good chunk of offensive ability. Basically 1 to all skills because I run both Nightblade Old Keeper. Apart from that, nothing special. Fully conversion cold to acid to Amarastras, which is a nice damage boost. Not huge, but still something. My left ring is General's Vine Ring of the Cabal. Unfortunately, I have several problems with the resistances. Probably I can replace Cabal with something different, but for now I need most of the resistance here. But of Dranghu or Readiness, I think will be better. I'm gonna test this when I fix my problems. Right ring is Blight Pilot Ring of Attack. Again, Path of the Tree, increase poison duration, and 36 spirit, and huge boost to offensive ability, 172. And Amulet is a very strange choice, but I'm gonna explain why. I run Arania's Gaze. You can run any generic acid poison amulet, even Runaprax Sting is gonna work here as well until you find something better. I run this because 2 to maximum resistance, this is a very good one. 1 to all skills, and another resistance shred, which comes with diminishing returns, but still better than nothing. Offensive ability, total damage, this is useful stuff. And the most important thing, 4% skill cooldown reduction. This is the gear. Let's check the skills. Standard Nightblade 3, Hardcap Pneumatic Burst, Hardcap Shadow Dance, 6 out of 10 for radius. On Veil of Shadow, Hardcap Night's Chill, or max out, not exactly Hardcap. 1 point Amarastras, we run this for the buff, and basically the cold damage is converted. So this is a nice boost. I use some biting blades from my seal as a filler between the attacks, so it's a nice damage. We run 7 out of 12. As I said, I have several problems with the armor resistances, so I decided to put a little bit more here. 1 point Anatomy of the Murder, basically to not put any points at Cunning. This is a very good investment. And max out Merciless Repertoire for the acid, poison and poison damage on top. This works very well on this build because I have hard support from the items. Old Keeper 3, we run Hardcap Edges of Menhir, 1 point Avenging Shield, doesn't matter, a skull provides us 5 targets anyways, and max out Reprisal, 1 point Wire Smite for movement, 1 point Tectonic Shift for less cooldown, 12 out of 12 Soft Cap Presence of Virtue, 1 point Heaven, 1 point Rebuke, 1 point Resilience, and max out Ascension, and 1 point Clarity of Purpose for offensive ability boost, and max out Path of the Tree. Devotions, I would say deep green, typical poison devotions. We run Mistress of Rumors, we run Manticore for flat resistance shred. We run Behemoth because very easy to pick Behemoth on a poison build. All the colors pretty good, we got purple and greens out of it. We run full left part Abomination and 1 extra point because I have 1 spare point at the end, and I decide to get this health and offensive ability boost. We run Yugo basically for the TR, damage reduction, and all of the rest is basically fillers. Let's summon our summons. We run Blade Spirits basically for the Devotion procs. Consumables, I use Royal Jelly Essence, situational, all the time Elixir of Drunk-Hu, and mostly Darmpetrian Oil, which is boost to poison. Let's see the dummy kill. Usually we pop up everything and just dots varies, but usually it's 300k. Sorry, 300k. All the boosts. Not, I would say damage is pretty good, not something amazing, but after all this is a deep hardcore build and still I work on the improvements. This is a very rough fresh 100, but I'm gonna do a Boundless 12 run for you just to see how the build performs. Build is very tanky for a dervish. Most of the Nemesis bosses I face tank them. Of course, super bosses I have to kite. I'll say probably it's not gonna be very good in the tiebreakers, but definitely can kill every single boss in the game at the first shot for the league points and stuff. After all, dot builds, they lack burst damage in general. Also, I forgot to mention, I run a rune of displacement. Usually teleporting skill on a casters is what I prefer for maybe 9 out of 10 cases. We run high attack damage convert to health as well. So reflect is something that is kinda dangerous and scary. Plays a lot of dot damage on my character, so I can die at any point. This is the ambush. We are casters, so don't be afraid to reposition. Usually I know I can face tank them, but I don't wanna risk. Also mutators not in my favor. I have one extra bad one. In terms of speed, build is, I would say, fast enough. This is chase, kinda annoying. We have very low entrapment duration, so be sure you place your wall of chaos, sorry, and you're gonna be fine. This is chase, completely face tankable. He's not scary. Maybe if mutators was in his favor, can be a little bit scary. This guy is very scary. I don't know why he deals so much damage. Sometimes basically depletes my health bar. And he's just normal side boss. He's not endgame boss or something. I managed to face tank most of the Nemesis, but Tom Torrance, he deals extremely amount of damage with his stun jacks and stuff. We're gonna stick to the objective. This build completely is playable without biting blades. I just use it as a filler. But if you feel this build so much piano, you can move Maharastras at the right click and just spare yourself one button to press. Anyways, biting blades don't make any difference, huge difference at the damage. Basically helps a little bit more with the clear. Also drains energy pretty quick. This boss, as I said several times, just avoid his siphon soul. At soft core, this build can handle double Nemesis most of the combinations because he's able to kite. It's gonna be not so fast, but still it's a possible option. Because Aegis of Menhir works very well on up to 5 targets, because there is no damage penalty or something. Basically you can deal equally damage to 2 targets like 2 Nemesis, and some of the combinations very easy, some very rippy. I don't run double Nemesis because hardcore. Also I'm not so addicted to farm corruptions and stuff. I prefer a little bit more chill gameplay. I don't mind the adrenaline rush, but double Nemesis on hardcore is a matter of time. And I already lost 3 characters due to silly mistakes. And here is a proof. We're gonna take down these 2 bosses almost together. Also Rutnik is a very dangerous one here. This is the most dangerous boss you can roll in this room at Boundless Dungeon 12. We're gonna click everything. We get Gurk. This is a retaliation guy. Basically don't face tank him, he triggers some auras and stuff that you don't want to. He is very easy to kite. He is very slow. Usually, if you maintain distance, he doesn't have enough damage to kill you, even with the Thunders up. Just stay away from him, especially on a squishy build. This is one of the Nemesis that I can face tank with this build for a reason. Just he has a similar mechanic like Valdaran. Basically, if you deals damage next to him, he constantly push some damage aura. And you end up killing yourself. We got Talar. This is another face tankable one. Actually, this time I messed up my cooldowns, but still manageable. You know, build is good I didn't proc any ghoul yet, so build sustains very well for the moment. Especially we have very good uptime on Ascension. Basically I can click this every 5 seconds. I mean, I don't have it for a 5 seconds between the buffs. No ambush. This is completely face tankable. We got actually epic battle. LongCa versus LongCa build. You have to dodge some of the stuff. Not everything, but Thunder definitely. And be careful with the shotguns and stuff from the plants. If you know how to execute this battle properly, he's not that hard. Never underestimate these ambushes. Sometimes is a very burst damage comes out of them. For example, if there is a 3 pouncers and they comes on top of your head. Arena. This is a very tricky one. Her damage ramping, so I have to kill her very fast. And this build actually is one of the fastest killer of this boss at Boundless Dungeon 12. Somebody dies. Let's price him. We got Ultus, so I can corrupt another offhand. I lost corruption on the offhand, was terrible. This is Caustic Skull of the Realm. This is another way to level this build as well. If you want to start Aegis of Menhir immediately out of the bat. This is basically you have to farm a little bit here, but it's completely possible to roll this. I think this vendor over here sell that as well, but I'm not sure. Let's double check. No, he doesn't, so probably the next vendor at the crypt. Nothing interesting. Let's corrupt our offhand. I'm curious to see if it's gonna be a brick or not. What we got? Actually, this is a good one. We got a physical resistance. Just I have to reroll this for a better one. $17. High on the poison. Actually, I care more for the poison damage. So this is definitely a replacement. We got some physical resistance. This is good. We passed the 20 benchmark, which is kinda nice. And we have to place a slightly boost. Overall, this is the build. I'm gonna record some boss fights and stuff when I farm a little bit more on this one. But this is a very good build, especially for a league points gathering, and Boundless Dungeon 12 farming in general is a pretty fast, is a pretty safe as well, because you're basically a CDR caster kiting build. Comes with tons of sustained and tons of circuit breakers as well. It's not one of the strongest build, but definitely strong than most, in my opinion. Still, I work on improvements. And I'm gonna upload the Grim tools regularly when I basically test other stuff and items and maybe different relic and stuff. But for now, this works very well for me, and I'm gonna test this against some bosses in the future. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.